All right, so have you ever read something that felt like it came from somewhere else? Today we're diving into a text with a really mysterious origin. It's a book that wasn't so much written as it was received, and it claims to shed light on these invisible currents that are quietly shaping our lives. Let's see what's inside. So the book itself is called Keys to Lifestream, and its origin story is, well, it's not your typical one. It all started over 2 decades ago when the author was part of what they called a mystery school. And the process of creating this book, it sounds like it was way more about listening than it was about writing.
You know that feeling of being in the zone? Well, the author describes this as something much deeper. A feeling of being an instrument, not the composer. The words just flowed, like a current, super clear, really insistent, and just alive. It was like taking dictation from a voice just over the horizon of their own thoughts.
So the big question is, where did all this information come from? You know, the easy answer might be, oh, it's just the subconscious mind. But this text says, hold on. Our view of the subconscious is way, way too small. I mean, think about it. Our conscious mind, the part we identify as me, is only running about 5% of the show. The other 95%? That's the subconscious. And the book has this perfect analogy for it. It's like we're just texting on the freeway of life, totally unaware that there's this massive, powerful engine that's actually steering the car.
And this is such a powerful way to reframe it. Pulling from Carl Jung, the book argues that the subconscious isn't some dusty basement where we store our old emotional junk. No, it's a cathedral. It's a grand, divine space. It's not a storage room. It's a whole universe. And hey, if that's where these words came from, the author says they'll absolutely take it.
Okay, so to keep all of this from getting too floaty, the text introduces this fantastic character, Zoran the Dragon. He's kind of this wise, slightly grumpy, skeptical guide. He keeps reminding us, hey, little spark, understanding is what matters, not just blind belief. He's the voice that challenges us to really figure out if this download is a true signal or if it's just cosmic static.
All right, let's get into the meat of it. We're going to explore what the book calls the architecture of existence, these core concepts of laws, currents, and rays that supposedly shape our entire reality.
Now, this is super important. When you hear laws of the universe, you might think of commandments carved in stone that you have to obey. But that's not it at all. It's better to think of them as invisible rivers, these incredibly powerful currents that are always flowing. The whole point isn't to master them or control them, but to just learn how to align with them, how to get in the flow.
And Zoran just puts it so beautifully here. It's not about mastery. It's about having a relationship with these forces. It's about learning to dance with the flow of the universe, to kind of breathe with it and let it guide you, the way the wind guides a kite. Okay, so if the laws are the rivers, the text also talks about these things called rays. Think of it like this. Sunlight looks white, but when it passes through a prism, you see it's made of all these different colors, right? Well, the idea here is that the energy of life itself is made up of different qualities. The book says these aren't just metaphors. They're actual frequencies, real intelligences that are always shining down on us, ready for us to tune into.
And the whole practice is built around these 7 core rays. Each one represents a unique quality of consciousness. You've got will, that's your power to direct energy. Love, the force that connects everything. Wisdom, that deep, clear understanding. Harmony, the sense of balance. Knowledge, the structure of truth. Devotion, the fire that gives you purpose. And finally, transformation, which is the engine of all change. The real question the book asks is, are you even paying attention to which of these are showing up in your life?
But okay, what does any of this actually mean for us day to day? Let's take a look at how we can bring these big abstract ideas down to earth and actually start working with them. So let's take a big one, the ray of compassion. And we're not just talking about feeling sorry for someone. This is a deep, almost resonant awareness of what someone else is going through. It's a quality that's right at the heart of pretty much every major spiritual tradition, and there's a good reason for that.
And Zoran just totally reframes compassion for us here. It's not a weakness, he says. It's the very essence of connection. It's actually a source of incredible strength. The idea is that when you let yourself truly feel what another is feeling, you're tapping into this universal power that has the ability to heal.
Next up, let's consider the ray of patience. I mean, wow, in our world today, this one can feel impossible. But the book reminds us that the universe itself is the ultimate model of patience. It took billions of years for us to get here. Life is just not in a hurry. So true patience is really about getting in sync with that huge, unhurried rhythm. And again, Zarin makes this critical distinction. Patience isn't about being stagnant. It's not just sitting around waiting for things to happen. He calls it the slow, deliberate grinding of the cosmic years. It's the bedrock, the foundation that all great things are built on, and there is so much strength to be found in that stillness.
So, to tie all of these threads together, the book shares this beautiful metaphor that really captures this whole journey of self-discovery. It's the classic Zen parable about searching for an ox.
So in this story, the ox is basically a symbol for our true self, our essential nature. The journey kicks off with the search, that feeling that something is missing and we start looking for it. Then we get a glimpse. We find some footprints. We have those first little tastes of inner peace. After that comes the real work, taming the ox, where we learn to connect with and guide that wild inner nature. And finally, there's returning to the source, where we become one with the ox and we bring that whole integrated self back into the world to help others.
But, and this is so important, Zoran jumps in with a crucial reminder. This parable, it's just a map. It is not the territory. These stages are just symbols for a journey that is incredibly personal, totally internal. The real adventure, the true journey, always happens within the heart. So how do we actually start walking that territory for ourselves? Well, the book distills everything we've talked about into a really simple, really elegant practice that you can do every single day. It's called the Dragon Trial, and the beauty of it is just how simple it is. All you do is sit quietly for a few moments, take a breath, and just choose one of those 7 core rays we talked about to be your focus for that day. That's it.
And once you've picked your ray, let's say you choose harmony or maybe love, you just ask yourself this one simple question. Now, the key here is not to try and analyze it or figure it out with your logical brain. The instruction is simply to listen. Just hold that question gently in your mind and see what comes up.
And that's really where we land. The big idea in this book is that true wisdom doesn't come from forcing things or striving, but from alignment. This simple daily practice is just a way to consciously align yourself with one of these powerful currents. So as you go about the rest of your day, just take a moment. Which one of these 7 rays is calling out to you right now?